Hello, baby. Hello, Brucey. Tired boy. Okay, got all of you here. There. Dale is there. How about that story of Dale on the Patreon yesterday? Oh my God, this guy's gonna be the death of me. Perhaps we'll talk about that. Let's start, shall we? Not with that. Come on now.
And now, here's a guy who has never won a congeniality award at any radio station anywhere.
I will fight you in the street.
It's the Eric Zane Show podcast with your host, Eric Zane.
Thank you very much, Johnny. Welcome into the Back Alley Comedy Club studio, smack dab in the middle of Hudsonville, Michigan, America's salad bowl, as it's known. I don't know. You gotta have something to hang your head on, I guess. Day two of All Kobe All the Time. I can't think of any death that has happened other than the death of a president that has been talked about more in, like, the news. And I guess I understand. I have a little bit of a concern that I want to talk about a little later on in the podcast about this. And I talked about it yesterday about how I am marveling at the Teflon nature of Bryant in all of his glory, coming back from the depths of despair in 2003 when he was accused of rape. Whoa! And there's a lot of nuances about that are just forgotten. This is, again, proof positive that with the right blend of time and athletic excellence, you can have your persona in the public made squeaky clean. Jeez. What I'm getting at is I read some of the account from back in the day of the accusations about him. Not for the faint of heart. Oof. My gosh. All right, more on that a little later on. Yesterday I paid a visit to John in Jennison's house. Occasionally I have to drop by there to pick up stuff. He has all sorts of, like, occasionally I need like a cord or a microphone cable or something like that, or something for the podcast, and he's got everything. The guy has his own music studio in his basement. So, hey, man, you got like an eighth-inch phone to eighth-inch to quarter-inch adapter cord. Yeah, I need a couple XLRs. Can you okay, great. I'll swing by. I need a microphone. One of those deals. So I talked in the podcast about how, while purging that laundry room, I threw out an iPod and an iPad. Kenny, I talked about this in the Patreon. Kenny's like, man, yeah, you can't throw that stuff away, man. It's like illegal. I go, what are you talking about? Yeah, man, you're supposed to recycle that. Yeah. And I go, really? How come I'm supposed to? Oh, yeah, it's what you're supposed to do. It's just what you do. I go, well, yeah, but why? Yeah, so it doesn't line up in the landfill. You got to take it over to Best Buy. Did a little digging. I find out that Best Buy harvests those things for the lithium and the precious metals that are inside of there. And then they throw the rest of it away. Don't fall for that. Just throw it in the garbage. Throw it in the lake. This is what I want you to do. You got any old electronics? Laptop, desktop, mainframe, reel-to-reel, stereo components, turntable. I want you to find your nearest body of water and throw it in there. That's what you need to do. Flip your old iPad like a Frisbee. See how far it goes across the lake. That's what you do. Screw it. I'm totally kidding, by the way. You know somebody's going to get bent out of shape. Like, wait a minute. What are you talking about there? You can't say that, Zane. Hang on a second. This camera's killing me. Stand by. This one. I got two. Oh, God. Camera's going to be the death of me. A lot of things are going to be the death of me. So Kenny's like, yeah, man, yeah, you gotta take that stuff over to Best Buy. Nah, I don't. So then John is like, hey, man, I would have taken that iPod. This is like an old school iPod Mini, a little one. And I'm like, why? He goes, well, because I've got one in each room, and when I really want to rock, I go to my bathroom, and then if I go over to my living room, then I want to have a little a different vibe. I just push that one. I was like, dude, that is such an old man thing to do. I mean, most people, they just they got their phone, and their phone plays the music off Spotify, streaming services. You've got it like a copy of the music on the iPod. Who does that? Jeez. I don't even know how to access iTunes anymore. Is that even a thing? Do people like take CDs and then load them into their Apple iTunes and then transfer them to their stupid iPod? John does. God, come on. So I go, all right, I'll tell you what. He kept bugging me about it, and I'm like, all right, man, I'll tell you what. I'm going to go in the trash, and I'm going to dig that thing out of there. So I went, and I dug it out, and I also dug out the old iPad. And I'm like, I think I might be able to use this iPad now that I think about it. I've got one right here that I use. Maybe I could use a second one. I'm not sure what I'd use it for, but probably not a bad idea to have one ready to go. And this is really old. It's got a cracked screen, and it's light years behind anything else that you can get now. So I'll tell you what, I got to be able to charge this iPad up. I need a charger. It's old school charger. I don't have one. I'll trade you the iPod for the charger. All right, done. I won't be home, though. I'm going to put it in the usual spot. I go, all right, great. I swing by John's place. Now, I know John, it's amazing. He's got all this low tech with things like the iPod, but he's pretty sweet when it comes to his security. I know that place, you even think about walking up to it. It's lit up like a Christmas tree, and there's cameras everywhere. I know where the cameras are, and I also know that as soon as I walk up to the house, when he's not home, he's going to get a notification that there's a big-nosed Armenian goblin right in front of the camera. So I was rocking out to some Buck Cherry as I pulled into the driveway at John's house, flipped open the door. I knew I was on camera the whole time, and proceeded to dance my ass off right in front of his camera. His neighbors must have thought I was some kind of lunatic. Someone may have been home in the house because I saw a light flick on when I was driving away. I was a little worried about that. I didn't want to scare the kids or Mrs. John. But anyway, I shook my ass in John's driveway for about 30 seconds. I traded him the iPod for the cord and took off. Then I texted him. I said, grab that video footage. I need to see that. Well, he went ahead and posted it to the asshole-free Reddit page, which is my new favorite thing. I have, it's funny because I've scrubbed my Reddit of every cocksucker that exists in the world today. Because every time I would turn around, there'd be some son of a bitch just for no reason whatsoever blasting me between the eyes. And I was like, you know what? I'm sick of this shit. This is ridiculous. I reached out to the dude who runs like a dude. Can you cancel the whole thing for me? Yeah, I'll do it. It sucks. So he killed it, and then I started my own. You need to find it. If you want to see that video, reddit.com/r/the Eric Zane Show. Subscribe to it and contribute all you want about the show. But I'm warning you, if you start to get personal, you're gone. So shut the hell up. But have fun otherwise. I love talking to you. If you have criticisms, comments about the show, I know there's a couple of usual suspect crybabies who sit there and bitch and moan that I police my own page. Well, of course I do, you dumb butt fuck. The fuck is wrong with you? I am wound up today, and I feel like fighting someone. I don't know who, but I am in the mood for a fight. No idea where that comes from, but I don't know. Almost picked one. No, I did pick one with Diana yesterday, but she started it. But when the dust settles, I have to admit that it was my fault and throw myself on the mercy of the court in order to have a night of not sleeping on the couch. We've all been there, haven't we? All right. So I want to start the show talking about this idiot football coach from Grand Valley State University, which is just around the corner from here in beautiful Allendale, Michigan. It's the next town over. That's Grand Valley State. It's like 25,000 students that go there. Been a number of players that have gone on to NFL fame that have played football at Grand Valley State University. A pedigree program that for years and years had some tremendous success and a long line of very successful coaches at Grand Valley State University. I'm probably going to forget some, but you look at Brian Kelly, the coach of Notre Dame. He was at Grand Valley State University. Who was he? Oh, God, there's another guy who I think is coaching in the NFL, or not the NFL, in college football right now, Division I college football. But I forget his name. He can't be that great. But for a time, I mean, that school, year after year, would challenge for a national championship in whatever it's called now. It used to be known as Division II, but now it's called football subset Group 1, B7, 36, 54, 22, hike. But the school ended up blowing out the offensive coordinator this year, and they hired a new guy. And this guy is not really happy right now. His name is Morris Berger. Berger or Berger, Berger. He looks like a real twat when I'm looking at his picture. He has this tough guy look on his face. Looks like the type of guy who might make this comment. He's been on the job a month. He was interviewed by some kid at the local college newspaper. And this Berger is a history major. So the reporter, I think it's, I'll get to it in a second. I'll kind of go over it bit by bit. Asked him who in history, if you could name 3 people in history that you would like to have dinner with, who would be on that list? Now think about it. You've been on the job a month. In fact, the story unfolded yesterday, which was a key day in history because yesterday was the 75th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz, the death camp, the Nazi Germany death camp, where that place alone murdered 1.5 million people. This dumb son of a bitch looked at the reporter and said, "I want to have dinner with Hitler." What? You do, huh? Tell me more. Tell me more about your dinner date with the Fuhrer. Let me just start by getting into this article from awfulannouncing.com. And by the way, yeah, so it blows up on a national platform. First, it just showed up locally, and then it kind of matriculated. By the end of the day, this dude, Berger, is having a bad, bad day. And for the second time in less than 12 months, they write a college football coach is in hot water for remarks about a Hitler. What's it called? Godwin's Law? Isn't that any internet argument will always at some point, if it goes on long enough, we'll go back to Nazi Germany and Hitler? I think that's what that is. Last February, it was Independence Community College head coach and Last Chance U figure Jason Brown, who texted German player Alexandros, "Alex U, I'm your Hitler now. Figure out your life." and wound up resigning afterwards before getting charged with 8 felonies involving blackmail and identity theft for trying to silence newspapers. Wow. But this time around, it's brand new Grand Valley State offensive coordinator Morris Berger. He was suspended for this after he praised Adolf Hitler in remarks to Kellen Voss of the school's student newspaper, the Grand Valley Lantern. Here are those remarks, which were first published last Thursday. Okay, so published last Thursday, but the story didn't start really hitting till yesterday. Kellen Voss says to Dude, so you graduated from Drury, which is a college somewhere, with a degree in history. You're a history guy. If you could have dinner with 3 historical figures, living or dead, who would they be? And I'm ruling out football figures. Berger says, well, this is probably not going to get a good review, so he knows it's coming. But I'm going to say Adolf Hitler. It was obviously very sad, and he had bad motives. But the way he was able to lead was second to none. How he rallied a group and a following, I want to know how he did that. Bad intentions, of course, but you can't deny he was a great leader. Oh! How? How did you stupid idiot? How can you be so tone deaf? Let me just say, no one should ever utter the name. You should never work it into anything positive. Anything about a mass murderer who destroyed millions and millions of people for years and years and years. There is nothing good about Hitler. Why you would make such a fatal mistake like that, I don't know. The suspension is in place, and I, for one, would not be surprised if the school fires him today, because they don't like this type of shit. When things start to roll downhill and everybody starts talking, I mean, how would you like to be the school known as the one who brought in the guy who loves Hitler's leadership capabilities and wants to break bread with him? You stupid, rock-headed, Aryan asshole. What the fuck is wrong with you? Kellen Voss has gotten some flack, too, because he then responded with, he kind of like affirms and says, well, the way he was able to get people to rally around him was crazy. That's not good either. Berger says, yeah, that's definitely one. Talking about Hitler. You have to go JFK, his experience with the country in being that he was a good president and everything. That's debatable, by the way. And this might sound crazy, but Christopher Columbus, the ability to go on the journey he was on and his emotion into the unknown. Think about putting yourself in the setting of that unknown. And then to take it all in as you arrive is crazy. I wouldn't have been surprised if he was like, yeah, Hitler, the way he was able to rally people. And then, oh my God, who could it possibly be for number 2? Benito Mussolini, I heard, had some good ideas. Seriously, forget the whole fascism thing. He was a hell of a leader. And then, geez, Pete's man, Joseph Stalin. My God, Saddam Hussein and Jesus, Osama bin Laden. These are all winners in my book. Muhammad Atta, the way he was able to quietly get on the plane and then fly it into those buildings. I wouldn't be surprised if Morris Berger drops these nuggets on us a little further down the road if he's ever given the light of day. 1 month this dumb son of a bitch has been on the job. 1 month! He could have said John Lennon. He could have said, guy who played Big Bird who just died. Robin Williams. Anybody. You went with Hitler? of all, A1, a criminal of all of humanity, forever and ever and ever. And of all times, so close to the 75th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz. Holy crap. Can you imagine the shitstorm in the football office or in the AD's office or the dean's office when this stupid, rock-headed moron gets in front of them? I would be so red-ass and pounding my fist, you'd have to hold me back. You stupid son of a bitch. How idiotic are you? Even if you do feel that way, and even if you don't have an aggressive bone or a hate-filled bone in your body, you don't say it. Man, what a moron. So this guy's in trouble. The article from Awful Announcing says there doesn't seem to be any debate that Berger said this, but it's incredible that he did. And it's a rare case of Godwin's Law. That's what I mentioned, showing up in a newspaper interview rather than an online discussion. With some people, maybe just a long enough one-on-one conversation is enough for it to eventually turn to Hitler. And if the Jason Brown situation didn't teach coaches to stop referencing Hitler, this one really should. But it's wild that a coaching suspension has resulted from, quote, what historical figures would you like to have dinner with? If I am in charge of any entity like this and I hire somebody on, I put a clause in the contract that says you will never, ever think of, speak the word, or reference Adolf Hitler or Nazi Germany at any one point while you are here. If you even think of it, we'll know it. And you will be fired immediately. I'm just throwing that out there now. Never, ever are you to have dinner with Hitler. You're not going to go roller skating with Hitler. You're not going to go to the Lenten fish fry with Adolf Hitler. You're not going to go to the dog groomer with Hitler. Hitler's no longer part of the equation. Hitler was a terrible man who murdered millions of people. He's worse than Lord Voldemort. Okay? You can't say the name Adolf Hitler any further. Gosh, what a stupid asshole. Morris Berger, good luck with the rest of the week. Oh, man. Back Alley Comedy Club. Oh, pardon me, before I get to that, I've got a new creep priest in the news, okay, who has been given a sentence in the great state of Michigan. I'm a little concerned with the amount of time on this sentence, but we'll get to that story coming up next, thanks to a number of you who sent that one along. By the way, if you see a story that you think I would like to talk about on this show, please send it to me. Just copy the link, put it in an email, send it to eric@ericzaneshow.com. You can also direct message me on Twitter. That's the easiest way I get these. Of course, on Twitter, @EricZaneShow, the Blue Frost IT Twitter handle. Back Alley Comedy Club features Dwayne Gill with, God, why can't I write bigger? With Rebecca Gibson. These eyes, they are just failing in front of you right now. I can't even see the camera. Blind as a bat. Dwayne Gill with Rebecca Gibson. Saturday only, Back Alley Comedy Club Muskegon. 2 shows, 8 and 9:30. Tickets are just $7. What? And if you are on the audio podcast, I put a link for those tickets in the comments, okay? Whenever I say, link in the comments, I'm referring to the comments in the audio on-demand podcast, okay? And you should be subscribed to that. I had a conversation with a person the other day who said, yeah, man, I get it on Facebook, but sometimes I get it on YouTube. I go, well, that's a video podcast. You can get the on-demand audio at ericzaneshow.com or any podcasting platform. You can? Yes, of course you can. I would hope that you are subscribed. It just shows up on your phone every day. You don't have to do anything. All right, so that's at the club. Blue Frost IT, the managed IT service provider for the show. What is a managed IT service provider? The folks at Blue Frost, Alan and Ashlyn, show up at your workplace and they service your IT. It's like a handyman for your IT, but it's not like one that you have to pay insurance and have staffed. It's a monthly thing that you subscribe to, Blue Frost IT, and then they're in charge of all the stuff so that when things crash, when you get a virus, when you need updates, they do it all at Blue Frost IT. You need to reach out to them for more information. Get an estimate on their services, all right? 616-200-8550. If your setup is constantly going kablooey, you're wasting time fixing it. Time is money, especially in business, small business, to be sure. So be in touch with Blue Frost IT, and they can make sure that things run smoothly for you. If you ever get in the weeds, that's what they do for me. They can assist you remotely. They just log in, and all of a sudden, voila, they're taking control of your computer, fixing your issues. 616-200-8550. Online at bluefrostit.com. How you puppy dogs doing? You doing good over there? We got O'Neill and Bruce in here, as always. The dogs are sponsored, by the way, by Irvine's Auto Repair. But I put them on a yearly plan because we're approaching, midwinter. So there's only half of cold season left to put them in sweaters that say Irvine's Auto Repair on one and Grand Rapids Hybrid on the other dog. O'Neill would be brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair. Bruce by Grand Rapids Hybrid. But I got to get the sweaters made. It's a pain in the ass. So I told them for sure all of next year and maybe just part of this year if I could just get them made. I haven't lifted one finger yet, Megan, to get those things made. I'm going to, though. I promise. I promise. I won't let you down. Hey, if you want to advertise your business on the show, reach out to me. I can put you in a marketing plan that will work for your budget, any budget. I specialize in mom and pops with no budget. I specialize in bigger businesses with big budgets. Case in point, you get all sorts of gigantic companies in West Michigan that I service. Some even I have a national platform that you can take advantage of their services. So what I'm getting at is whether you can only spend a little bit of money or a more elaborate budget, I can accommodate you, man. I make the rules. I price it the way I want to price it. I have nobody telling me what to do. If you say, Zane, I really want to get on the show, but I only have this much money, man, I'm going to get you on. I'm going to make it happen for you. All right? Just reach out to me. Don't be embarrassed about the amount of money you're spending. Fuck, we're all in this together. I can take care of you. I promise you. Okay, when you see me make this face on the video, if I have, it's because it's all about writing and size of the font that I write. My handwriting. First of all, I write messy. Second of all, I can't see anymore. So if you see me do this, that means I can't see it. And I am kicking and screaming with the idea of getting glasses. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it. My wife, the other day, she grabs the cell phone. And because every time I get the cell phone, I'm holding it far away from me in order to read it. I can't see the shit. It's all blurry. Give me that. What is it? And she clicks on something, and the font is, like, huge. If it's, like, a 5-word message, I have to, like, the takes up the whole screen. And then I have to, like, move through the message, like, on the screen in order to read it. It's gigantic font. I go, I'm not doing that. Put it back. Damn it. Okay. Dana Nessel is the Attorney General in the state of Michigan, and she's made it a goal since she got into office. Going after creeper priests. What is it about a mugshot that makes even a man of the cloth look like a complete creep? Well, probably because he is. Excuse me. This dude is a priest at St. Margaret's Church, not too far from here, Allegan County. The Reverend Brian Stanley has to serve 2 months in prison. Boy, this seems like a light sentence. After he pled guilty in a deal with the Attorney General's office. That's always a tough gig if you're the Attorney General, because you're constantly debating whether or not it's a good idea or a bad idea to give somebody a plea deal. You know, if the plea is accepted, you're sparing the taxpayers the money, you're sparing victims the idea of being in front of people and retelling the story. I get all that, but it's kind of like a deal with the devil, because you get dudes like this creeper only getting 60 days in the joint. This dude, I don't think he explored butthole in this charge, but I think he may have wanted to. At least that's what the prosecution is saying. They're saying that this was a sexual incident, or he was motivated sexually, was the Reverend Brian Stanley. This priest wrapped a kid in bubble wrap, and that was it. He was sentenced to 60 days in jail yesterday for attempted false imprisonment. Wrapped the kid in bubble wrap. The Reverend Brian Stanley appeared in Allegan County Court 2 months after pleading guilty in a deal with the Attorney General's office. He was initially charged with false imprisonment. Stanley was accused of wrapping a boy in bubble wrap and tape in 2013. I remember this. In a janitor's room at St. Margaret Church. The boy's eyes and mouth were also covered while he was left alone for an hour, according to the Attorney General's office. Boy, I don't understand how a priest could do something like this. I mean, that wasn't that long ago, knowing full well that the gig is up. People have a close eye on priests these days. There's been so much publicized about priest abuse and, all denominations, but we're talking about priest abuse here, Catholic Church. I mean, if you're a rapist priest and a creep, and you know full well that the world has their eyes on you, you gotta come to the belief that you probably are being suspected of creeper-like behaviors. But they're so blind to that. I mean, if somebody was a rapist priest, but he wasn't caught for it, odds are people think you already are. You've been lulled to a sense of complacency, and people think that you've explored butthole. Stanley was supposed to be counseling the boy. So left alone for an hour, and here he's supposed to be talking to the kid, and the poor kid ends up getting tied up with bubble tape, wrapped up with bubble tape, and then his eyes and mouth taped shut. What the hell? Mr. Stanley took advantage of a vulnerable victim, and today he's being held accountable, said Dana Nessel. The priest did not speak in court, but has expressed regret about his actions. Yeah, he only saying that because he got caught. After this incident in 2013, he was in treatment. Hills said after treatment, I think he realized perhaps he was projecting trauma that he had suffered in his life onto others. Well, tough shit. Everybody has had trauma. Not everybody goes and carries that out. That's an excuse. That's bullshit. And why is this guy still known as Father Stanley? Stanley's conduct was sexually motivated, the Attorney General's office said, and he'll be placed on a public registry for 15 years. There's a big dispute about that, Hill said. There's no evidence about it. I objected to Father Stanley being placed on the registry, although under the statute it's required, regardless of whether criminal sexual conduct is alleged. The case against Stanley began when investigators looked at documents held by the Catholic Diocese in Kalamazoo. The diocese has said it twice reported allegations about Stanley to cops in 2013 and 2017, but no charges were filed. I wonder why. Weird. We continue to review information seized from all 7 Michigan dioceses in 2018. We will thoroughly evaluate accusations and complaints brought forth by victims. So this is kind of like been Nessel's thing since she got into office. She put the police on note, or the priests on notice that she's coming after you. This guy shouldn't be known as a reverend anymore. You commit any type of crime where you're in a position of power and you impose your will upon them, whether it's gratuitous sexual activity or something like this. Sorry, no. You tell you what, you take care of your job as indicated by a Catholic doctrine and law. Do your thing, support the community. Maybe bless the food before the big parish picnic. Say a nice homily. Host a Bible study, but don't touch my kid. Don't lay your hands on my kid or any kid. When are we going to see a story one day where some parent is informed by a child that something got off the rails, and dad's going to go, "Oh, okay. Tell you what, you guys call the cops, and I'm going to go kick his ass," and then he just kicks in the door and beats the holy shit out of the priest? When are we gonna get to that story? Because I would love that to happen. I mean, if a few priests get their asses kicked, I think that there would be a little bit more hesitation by some of these religious leaders to want to hurt children. Maybe get a story about a parent showing up, and then you got the priest. His nose is sideways. He looks like a hockey player after he got in a fight. His eye is swollen shut. Maybe a contusion on top, a clump of hair ripped out, broken arm. These are all things that I wouldn't have a problem with. When are we going to get to that point? To me, the public, who've been parents of kids injured by priests, have been very, very patient over the years. I want to hear the follow-up where one priest just gets the hell beat out of him. All right? As much as I love the Catholic Church, if you inherit an ass-kicking, sorry, as my dad would say, you got to pay the piper. Dad joins us tomorrow on the show. We do that live now. Dear Meathead, if you have questions for Dad, please reach out. Eric@ericzaneshow.com. They don't need to be funny, okay? Those are fine, too. You can send me a funny one. Don't embarrass him in any way. And just ask him any question at all. He loves this. This is the highlight of his week. Dad can't do much these days with that injured hand. And going forward, he won't be able to do any of the projects that he loves to do. Well, with the dementia, he's not going to be around power tools anymore. So, Dad gets a little bit antsy. He loves our time. If you want to reach out, Eric@ericzaneshow.com. Next, I knew this was going to happen. I knew that something was going to get off the rails with Kobe Bryant. Now, as I indicated in the opening monologue, Kobe Bryant is Teflon. Kobe Bryant is being hailed as he was a terrific basketball player, but the unbelievable, in my opinion, over-the-top accolades about him are, in my opinion, a little much. He has escaped the accusations about him in 2003. And it's like they did not happen. And I'm marveling at that. This is a sad story. And I think that people should mourn it. But it is, it's remarkable how much distance Bryant has put between his last day to what happened back in 2003. I'll get to that in a second. And a reporter is in trouble. I knew that part was going to happen. I was just waiting. In fact, I almost tweeted about it. After he died, I wanted to tweet, countdown to the first person, reporter, celebrity, who gets in trouble for a Kobe Bryant take. It happened. 24 hours later, it happened. Meanwhile, the Mario Flores. Hold on a second. I can't. Look at me. I'm such an asshole. I can't even write this shit down right. The Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage is my latest sponsor. They want to get you a mortgage. A little bit of background. Mario Flores, when he was much younger, he's my age, but when he was much younger, he was a businessman, owned a pizza joint that was terrific in and around the Muskegon area. And he was so busy working on the pizza industry, pizza restaurant, that he never got around to making sure that his credit score was good. So he'd go to the bank every day with the deposits from the money he was making hand over fist from the pizza joint, and they loved him at the bank. And so one day he's talking to the bank personnel who he knows on a first-name basis. He goes, hey, you know what? I'm thinking about getting a house. They go, all right, yeah, sure, we'll get you a loan. We'll get you a mortgage. So he sits down with, at one of those desks. You're in some serious discussions when you go from the teller counter to the desk there in the office. Like, all right, let's get some background on you. And then all of a sudden, the guy started laughing in Mario's face. True story. Mario's, what? What are you talking about? What are you laughing about? Yeah, it says here your credit score is in the dumper. And he's like, well, I didn't even know. I don't know anything about this. How does this, what's going on? Yeah, and it laughed him out of the building. So this is a customer of the bank. And they're like, we're not giving you a mortgage. No. All right, so that put the gears in motion. He has taken that moment in time, and he is now using it to drive him to get the best mortgage option for you and get you into a mortgage at the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. He realizes that some of you are in a boat that he was in back then. And so he works very hard to get you on the right track so that you can get that mortgage. All right? A lot of people these days, when they're looking for a home, they get the mortgage first so that they know what they can do. Sometimes if you deal with a mortgage professional, they might be like, no, you can afford this much money. And you really can't. That leads to something known as the housing crisis way back when the market fell out of everything. The start of it was mortgages being written to people who couldn't afford them. All right. So what I want you to do if you're thinking about getting a mortgage is reach out to Mario at 231-332-6500. 231-332-6500. Don't be embarrassed by this. He was once in this boat. And how did he get in the mortgage industry? Well, honestly, it started because while he was working at the pizza joint, one of his customers said, I'm in this industry, and I think you'd be good at it. And he's like, what do you mean? He goes, the way you communicate with people is key. You are excellent at it. And that, I think, you can parlay to doing something in addition to this, or maybe on the side, or maybe this could be exclusive to what you want to do. Here he is. He's the best. If you're thinking about a mortgage, you need to call the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. Their number, 231-332-6500. Now, once you get that secure, and this could be somebody who doesn't have a great credit score or somebody who has the best credit score. This isn't a broker. Van Dyke Mortgage, they're the money people. Okay, they're the ones that are going to get you the money. They're not going around and shopping all these different things and whatever, looking to cut deals with people that he has relationships with. No, they are the money people at Van Dyke Mortgage. All right, 231-332-6500 online. Just go to my website, ericzaneshow.com. Click on Mario's logo right at the top of the page in the sponsor scroll. Once you get that mortgage, what do? You buy a house. Who's the realtor? Henry Steffes. You see how this all comes together here. Henry Steffes in West Michigan. Of course, the Steffes Group of Keller Williams Realty. You bang on Henry's door and say, hey, man, I got my mortgage. Let's buy a house. Henry's going to go, I'm on top of it, man. Go to my website, look at my listings. Or you're like, I got a mortgage. I want to sell my house. Henry's going to come through. He's going to look at your home. He's going to give you ideas of what's going to be a key selling point, what you need to upgrade, on and on and on. TheSteffesGroup.com. Reach out to them if you're thinking about selling your home, all right? Again, you should always shop around. Check out other realtors, too. Interview them. This is a big decision. I recommend this with any part of the home buying process, and that includes my friends at Van Dyke Mortgage. But I'm telling you, Mario's going to ace that interview every damn time. I don't pair with schleps. I don't want loser mortgage people, and I don't want a loser realtor that I am telling you to call on. If these people sucked and I got a ton of complaints about them, I'd kick their ass to the curb and give them their money back. Not so, though. All winners on the Eric Zane Show podcast. Henry Steffes, thank you. The Steffes Group of Keller Williams Realty. Online at thesteffesgroup.com. All right. Next. As the story has unfolded about Kobe Bryant, lots of tributes coming in. One of the things that's happened is there's a big petition online about getting Kobe Bryant's image to be the new logo of the NBA. That might be kind of cool, actually. I think that you get a picture of him flying up for a dunk or something like that. It might need an update. That might be good. It seems like everybody's jumping on the Kobe bandwagon. Let me just say before I talk about this story that if you did happen to go back and read the details of the 2003 rape trial of Kobe Bryant, the charges were eventually dropped by the person who accused him. There was a civil trial that took place and then a settlement that did occur, and she got an amount of money. I don't know what that is. But if you were to go back and read that, oh boy, it is not for the faint of heart. There are some very specific details about Kobe Bryant that, and they're etched in stone. They're on the internet. It's permanent. It's the actual things that he admitted. And, we all have skeletons in our closet, but they're not written online, I mean, we've all done some crazy shit. We've all done things that we're not proud of. And at the very least, I don't know if he raped that girl at all. He might have, he might not have. I don't know. It's not known. I don't know that. But I do know that he was involved in a thing where he did put it to her, and he did admit to strangling her because he said he likes that. And he did admit to asking her if he could make her face a landing spot for a certain reproductive material, and she did decline it, and that all is available to read. Now, if you're Kobe, your kids at some point probably have read that, and that's just the worst feeling in the world to think about. Oh, my God. Oh, boy. Really bad. Really, not for the faint of heart, the details on what went on in that. And there's a little bit of he said, she said here. I don't know. I am not indicting the guy in any way, shape, or form. It is out there, though. That did happen. Which, I continue to marvel at the amount of distance he's put between that horrible thing, just the whole business of answering to the wife, answering to the mother-in-law, answering to the kids, and just the shit. Ooh. Oh, God, it's... I think his navigating out of that is more spectacular than his NBA career, frankly. The fact that he, in his passing, is being looked at as, he is right now revered. And I am not saying I do or don't revere. I don't revere anybody other than, wife, kids, baby, Jesus, my family. So, whatever. But I understand some people do, and he is... Jeez, man, right now, Kobe Bryant can walk on water, according to the media coverage. Well, there's one person who was not buying it. She was a Washington Post reporter. And she, she started to go for it here in the past day, and she's been suspended. Political reporter has been placed on administrative leave over tweets she sent as news of Kobe Bryant's tragic death were still unfolding. Now, this is the same scenario. Remember when I talked about, it's crazy. When Don Imus died, NPR, their tweet was, Don Imus, who called the Rutgers basketball team nappy-headed hose, has died. That was their tweet. I'm pretty close on that, by the way. And everybody, it was 50-50. Half the people were saying, rot in hell, Don Imus. Good. I'm glad you're dead. That people actually wrote that, following up to that tweet. And then I actually wrote, I screenshot that, and I wrote, is this fair? And then people were like, yeah, it's fair. No, it's not. So it was a real debate, but it was 50-50. With Bryant, if you say anything sideways about this guy, you're in trouble. So that's a little weird, don't you think? The paper said the tweets displayed poor judgment that undermined the work of her colleagues. Washington Post reporter Felicia Sonmez, she shared a 2016 story that chronicled the 2003 rape allegations. It was a 2016 story from the Daily Beast. And the headline read, Kobe Bryant's disturbing rape case, the DNA evidence, the accuser's story, and the half confession. That's what the name of the article was. And this is like 6 hours after he's dead. I have mixed feelings on that. I don't know. I mean, if nobody bats an eye when they post that about Imus, should they bat an eye when she posts that about Bryant? I mean, she's in trouble. She might lose her job over this. What's the difference I'm getting at? I mean, Kobe Bryant's, what he's accused of is much more egregious than what Don Imus did, right? So why is it such a big deal that she posts that? But at the same time, I can understand why people would be pissed off. And I'm kind of like, why is she rocking the boat? I don't know. And I don't know if that's a good idea or a bad idea. I guess I haven't given it as much thought as I would need to be able to settle on it one way or another. But I'm leaning on she shouldn't be in trouble for saying that. If she's got the balls 6 hours after that dude died, and he seems to be being coronated right now, canonized, if she has the balls to post that, it is what it is. You just let the chips fall as they may. I don't know if you can suspend her over that. Sonmez was not to be deterred. She doubled down with numerous follow-up tweets when her initial message was hit with an onslaught of backlash, writing that the response she got was eye-opening. She claimed she received abuse and death threats. She wrote, quote, any public figure is worth remembering in their totality, which is what a lot of people said about Imus. Even if that public figure is beloved and totally unsettling. Sonmez wrote, that folks are responding with rage and threats toward me speaks volumes about the pressure people come under to stay silent in these cases. So I guess it's a little hypocritical by me because I'm thinking back to when Don Imus, when that was posted on NPR, and I was like, this isn't fair unless you post something shitty about everybody when they die. So if you were to take what I stated about Imus and equate it to this, I should be saying this isn't fair. But I think it is fair. And I now think that it's fair that they said that about Imus. Because at the end of the day, somebody's going to have the nerve to post it. And I guess you just take it as it comes. Somebody's going to say Imus is great. Somebody's going to say Imus is not great. I would suspect people on who would subscribe to NPR would think that that's appropriate about Don Imus. You see my point? So I think when I look at the big picture, she should be allowed to say that, and nobody should be suspended over that. And NPR should be able to say whatever the hell they want about Don Imus. If that's how they feel, hell, it's a free country. They can say what they want and let the chips fall as they may. Sanmez eventually deleted the tweets, but her employer wasn't pleased and placed her on administrative leave pending a review. Now, it's kind of a cop-out. They said that, first they wrote, National political reporter Felicia Sanmez was placed on administrative leave while the Post reviews whether tweets about the death of Kobe violated the Post newsroom's social media policy. What? The tweets displayed poor judgment that undermined the work of her colleagues. All right, why? Why is that? I mean, why does everybody have to go and praise this guy? I mean, if you have 10 reporters and 9 post something that is, a feel-good story or being sympathetic, and then you got one that says, yeah, this happened, but is that, and then you quiet that person, is that good? What do you think about that? I'd love to hear your take on this. Eric at ericzaneshow.com. Bryant and his 13-year-old daughter, Gianna, of course, both died. I don't need to go into that. We all know that. This talks about the specifics of the reporter. Yeah, she's out. If you get a chance, go the details on Bryant in that rape case. Yikes. I cannot believe the distance he's put between himself and that. Couple of you Tennessee listeners, this is the story that's burning under about the pothead in front of the judge. Thank you to Melinda. Thank you to Kenny for sending that one along. I can't wait to get to that next. Patreon perks is what I'm talking about. I got a really great reason for you to sign up for Patreon. You're all going to play Dale and Smarter Than a Former Drug Dealer trivia. I guarantee you will play. Here's the only thing you need to do. Sign up for either $5 or $10 a month. You get a lot with that. You get a fresh podcast every day, a bonus podcast. You're going to be so behind because there's so much podcasting. All right? Not only that, everybody who reaches out to me with an email, it says, hey, I want to play Dale and Trivia. First you sign up, then you let me know that you signed up, that you want to play. Your name goes in the bag. Every week I draw out a new name. Once they're all out, I start over. You're going to play. It's not like you might play. You are going to play Dale and Trivia. Eventually, your name will be drawn. $25 for each game. Dale got his ass handed to him yesterday by Mike. And that means Mike wins $25 from Bennett Flooring Installation. So there you go. That's a key Patreon perk. You can also watch Dale and I play with the audience member. We'll Skype them in. You can see it all. Otherwise, it's like the bit is not happening. So you need to be on Patreon to take part in all of this. And Bennett Flooring Installation is giving one member on Patreon a $1,500 carpet install. Pad, carpet, labor, you name it. All you have to do is be a member on Patreon. That drawing is in April, I should say. I don't know why I'm leaving words out. So as soon as you sign up, you're registered. We'll do that drawing. Thank you, Bennett Flooring Installation, for being part of the show. Bennett Flooring Installation is now on Twitter. Please follow them. At Flooring Bennett. Some dope had stolen at Bennett Flooring. Don't go to that one. Go to at Flooring Bennett. If you want an install, if you want an estimate, reach out to them. 616-318-616-318. 318-0167. The pause you're hearing is because I can't see it. Son of a bitch. I've been reaching out to firearms manufacturer Dave Warner for like a month. The dude is so hard to get in touch with. Constantly sending him text messages. He's usually in other countries. Because in order to sell arms to other countries, there's a lot of governmental red tape that you have to go through. His brand, Next Level Arms, is a worldwide entity. He makes top-end AR-15s. You got to see these things. Go to nextlevelarms.com to see what he's selling to foreign countries. He works with our government to make sure everything's on the up and up. All the T's are crossed and I's dotted. Believe me, I'm not siding myself with some arms smuggler, for God's sake. But in fact, he was telling me how the ATF guys come through his facility, his manufacturing facility, where him and the crew are making the weaponry. And they love walking through, man. Easiest job they have is seeing how legal he is. And then they're taking photos with the badass AR-15s. Get an AR-15 from Next Level Arms. If you just look at the website, Dave's going to see it. And I can't get him to renew. I'm trying to get him to renew for another 3 months, but he's a huge pain in the ass. He's like, well, I'll check out the web traffic. I said, fuck the web traffic, man. I'm talking about you. It's brand awareness. Just because they may or may not go to the website doesn't mean the message is not getting out there. There's no one else who's selling this type of stuff online or in any type of platform. You don't want to dissipate from their memory, so sign back up, dummy. NextLevelArms.com. If all of you go to his website, he'll see that. And like the pain in the ass that he is, he'll probably, oh, yeah, we're getting web traffic. I'll sign up for another 3 months. Yeah, no kidding. NextLevelArms.com. If you're a snowflake, don't go. He doesn't want you anyway. You're not man enough or woman enough to handle it. Thank you, Next Level Arms. All right. Lebanon, Tennessee, Wilson County. Beautiful part of the country. The sheriff who witnessed it says it was one of the craziest things I have ever seen after watching what went down in the courtroom. The inmate is Spencer Allen Boston. Spencer got popped with a simple marijuana charge. This is not a huge deal these days, but depending on where you are, you're going to have to face the music. Now, in the great state of Michigan, you smoke pot as much as you want to. The fact that in Michigan you can have 10 times the amount of pot on you than you can in Denver, which is, known as like the haven for pot. Michigan is the new green state, I'm telling you. You walk around anywhere here, it smells like pot. The whole pot industry is becoming massive in Michigan. Places are popping up all over the place. People with tons of cash are doling out big dough for these licenses. Jeez. It's incredible. Not so in Tennessee, not yet. It's coming, don't worry. You'll get there. You're a little bit more conservative there in Tennessee. Bible Belt. Don't worry, it's coming. So this dude gets popped. Got to face the music. He appeared in court yesterday. He's probably just going to be, he's got this misdemeanor charge. This is not a big deal. Don't make it any bigger. But 20-year-old Spencer Allen Boston had an idea. He wanted to make a point to the judge, and he figured the best way to do that would be right in front of him. Spencer Allen Boston, standing in front of the judge. He approached the bench to discuss his sentence. 2.5 feet away from the judge, looking up at him. Spencer reaches in his pocket. He pulls out a joint. And right in front of the judge, he lit it up. And he took a mean, big rip off of that thing. You know, Judge, I think we should legalize pot. And everybody's just looking at him like, oh, my God. You got to be kidding me. They arrested him again. They gave him another charge for what he was there for. They had to halt. They go, all right, dude, come on. Now he's got 2 charges. He's back to the drawing board. Back to the drawing board. They politely walked up to him and said, Spencer, put it out. He puts it out. They go, all right. They cuffed him, and they let him out of the courtroom walking through the smoke. So he, it's a huge cloud of smoke. They walked through it. Oh, my God. The second charge of simple possession. And he got a 10-day sentence for contempt of court. I got a couple of numbers. I'm not going to call it right now because I don't have any equipment to do it because everything's in use. But maybe I can double back and have that for you tomorrow if I can get anybody to pick up at the residence. Man, that would have been something to see. Yeah, Judge, I think we should legalize this. If you're the judge, you can't help but laugh, right? All right. I got one more thing for you. Do you remember months ago when my daughter Jacqueline responded to an ad in online about her being a business assistant or something for some guy named Mr. Zimmer? And he said he's a real estate executive, and she fell for this scam. And he needs her. He's closing on some property here in my neck of the woods. And he's sending some money to Jackie to close the deal for him. And she's like, okay, all right. And so he sends her a bogus check for like $5,000. And he says, now what we're going to do is you're going to deposit the $5,000 and then keep $2,500 for yourself. And then you are going to write a $2,500 check in this closing deal for the property that I'm buying. She's like, oh, okay. And then the scam is, he says, oh, it got canceled. We're going to reschedule. I need you to send me that $2,500 check you were going to give the closing person. That's the scam. She finally sniffed it out as being a little sketch. We determined it was sketch. I said, give me, and she said, Mr. Zimmer, I found a different job, and I don't want to work for you. I apologize. Thank you. And I just wanted her to get out of it that way. Well, he responded with, fuck you. Seriously. So, obviously he's pissed off, scam artist. And so then I called him on the podcast. And I had some fun with him. He told me to go F myself. And then I gave out his phone number. And everybody else told him to go F himself. You remember that, right? Hold on a second. I'm gonna give out his number again because I was reminded about this whole thing when I forgot who reached out to me and said, "Hey, I'm on the episode with Mr. Zimmer right now," and so because he was so far behind, he had Jeremy. He was just getting to it now. So I was reminded of it, and so he called the guy. Now, I don't know how it went down, but I had forgotten about Mr. Zimmer. Now, if I try calling Mr. Zimmer on my phone, he's blocked my number. First of all, let me give you his number. So if you're new to the show, every one of you, what you do is you call this guy, and you can do some variation of what I'm about to play for you. Knowing what you know, you can really screw with this guy. He's harmless. 443-490-6726. That's this cocksucker's number. 443-490-6726. He's in and around Baltimore, Maryland. This all started when he stole a bunch of checks from a rental agency, property agency in Green Bay, Wisconsin. That's how this all started, as check washing scheme. Some people have actually fallen for it, sent the guy money. He sounds like he's from like Nigeria, or he sounds like the guy who was one of the pirates on the Captain Phillips movie. Once he gets your number, he's going to block you anyway. So don't even worry about it. I wanted to call him yesterday, and I can't reach him on my phone because I'm blocked. But it dawned on me. I go, I'm going to use Madison's phone. So I got Madison's phone and called up this dude yesterday, and I want to play that for you right now. And then after I got done with the phone call, he immediately texts me, "Fuck you, go fuck yourself. You will burn in hell, fucker." He's really awesome with the swearing. It's really an entertaining thing. So I encourage you all to do this. I did it again yesterday.
Hello.
Zimmer, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Not bad, man. Look, I got this. Now he's got all these feelers out, so he thinks this is one coming back. This is one that's going to work. He's got that idea at this point. Money, I got to get you this money. It's burning a hole in my pocket. I'm tempted to spend it. I got to get you this cash.
Did you receive the check?
Zimmer, I can't hear you very well. Can you speak up for me, please?
I said, did you receive the check I sent you?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay.
Now what,
Okay.
Zimmer?
So you can proceed to get the check deposited. And let me know when the fund will be available, okay?
Yes, I understand. I understood like two of those words, but yeah, if you could maybe say that a little slower, and then I could process it. It sounded all clicky and dookie.
Go and deposit the check.
I did. I'm ready. I did deposit.
Okay, so when the fund will be available?
Probably like, I'm guessing pretty soon. But probably right now. I just checked my bank and the money is ready.
When did you deposit the check?
This morning.
Oh, okay.
So I think we're ready, right? I mean, do I need where is this meeting? Mm-hmm.
You will have to make the closing payments first. So
Okay. Now we're talking.
So,
I'm liking this.
I will instruct you tomorrow morning. It's late already, so you can make the closing payment tomorrow morning, okay?
Is there a chance that you might be confused because you're too busy fingering your own asshole?
Text you in the morning.
No. I'm telling you to go fuck yourself, Zimmer.
Oh, go fuck it when that's there.
You
Okay?
filthy fuckhead. Okay, yeah, we're gonna keep Zimmer on his toes. Yeah, don't forget. Call this fucker, 443-490-6726. For those of you that are not blocked, you call him Zimmer and you record that shit and you send it to me. We can start a whole thing of the Zimmer Chronicles. 443-490. Put it on speaker. Get another recording device. Hold it up. Record that shit. We'll get more. Have more fun with Zimmer. Make sure you do that and get it to me. Send it along. Eric@ericzaneshow.com. And I'm done. I got nothing more for you. I'm going to regroup, get a cup of coffee. And then we got the Patreon bonus podcast. Holy shit. Hey, get a t-shirt, would you? It's about time. That one's worn out. You need a new t-shirt. Just go to my website, ericzaneshow.com, pick out a style, and off you go. Or I'll give you one free if you sign up on Patreon. $10 a month. You're getting a free t-shirt. Thank you, folks. Talk to you. Bye-bye.